Good morning. My name is Maxwell Land, and I am a student at Turner Bartels. Recently, the 2018 hurricane season was introduced, and our question is, what factors do weather experts consider when making these predictions?
Maxwell, thank you, sir, for that question. So what he's talking about, Colorado State University issued their seasonal outlook last week, and they're one of the leading research institutions for forecasting for hurricane season. The forecast slightly above average for 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. So here are the factors that they look at. They look at different climate, large-scale patterns and current atmospheric conditions there in the Caribbean and in the Atlantic Ocean. And overall, they use some forecast models that help them. But really what they're looking at, one of the major factors, and we saw this last year, is sea surface temperatures. How warm or how much energy is there in the ocean to fuel these storms? Right now, we're seeing slightly warmer than normal conditions in the western Atlantic into the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. So that's a concern. That's why it's slightly above average. One of the other factors is El Nino or La Nina. What phase are we in? That typically influences the development of thunderstorms that develop into a hurricane. And right now we're expecting a neutral phase that won't necessarily promote or prevent the development of hurricanes in the Atlantic basin. Another factor that we look at is the location of this subtropical ridge. Last season, that subtropical ridge extended well far to the west, which really recurved a lot of those storms into our neck of the woods and extended them into the Caribbean as well. It looks like as we go into hurricane season, which doesn't begin until June 1, it looks like that subtropical ridge shifts a little more to the east, which would suggest if we do have a slightly above average season, the potential for those storms to curve off into the Atlantic and stay away from the lower 48 is a little more likely. All of that said, guys, you got to remember, it always just takes one system, so regardless, we have to be prepared.